Because Genshin Impact has a massive problem at the moment. If you don't know, the Natlan update is actually finally here, and Genshin Impact and HoYoverse like to release a lot of quality of life updates to the game to pretty much improve the overall user experience, whether that's from like changing a couple of the graphics around the world. And one of the changes he actually made to the Natlan update was the changing of the artifact system. Now, if you don't know, currently, if I was to go into my inventory here, you can actually see all of these artifacts that I've collected over the years, and most of this has been from grinding the domains. If you don't know, domains are a place where you can collect a lot of the artifacts, and pretty much you do them over and over and over and over again until you get the right substats that you want. As you can see, like this one is pretty bad to be honest still. But again, you're looking for certain kind of stats in the artifacts, which can take forever and can often take months for some people just to get the perfect artifact, which again, wasn't a very good system in the first place. But HoYoverse actually came up to a solution of this, actually not in Genshin Impact. They did it in Honkai Star Rail. So Honkai Star Rail actually had this change where you could actually synthesize a lot of the relics and turn them into new ones, but also give you the ability to change the stats on them, because we've always had strong boxes in Genshin Impact where you can pretty much, keep re-rolling for artifacts, but we never had the opportunity to actually change the stats ourselves in exchange for some kind of currency or something like that. But in the Natlan update, they finally did it and added the artifact transmuter. But there is a massive problem with this, which we're going to get into in this video. But this is very, very bad, and it's almost like they're scamming us here with how they actually presented it in the update. And this was actually brought to light by Ryuuku, so I definitely recommend going and following him and, watching his video as well. He's a very great creator, and again, he's talked about this at length and very clearly shows how angry he is about it. But in this video, I'm talking you through why this artifact system is absolutely terrible and why it needs to be fixed, and also just give some more of my own thoughts on it. But before I get to this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and also go over to GamerSubs, use my code KAZO, where you can get yourself 10% off a ton of cups and tubs, and also go over to my anime channel as well. We've got a ton of anime videos coming out on there soon, and let's get back into the video. So as I said, we got this artifact transmuter, which is a gadget. You can pretty much click use, and then it will pull up all of these different artifact sets, which is great. So it means that you can actually select one of these, you can actually define, the stats and everything, which is just great. But how do you actually get these? Well, first off, you actually need a sanctifying elixir, which, is pretty much a currency that you use to, get stats and stuff like that. And pretty much this needs to be at 100%, and it's kind of based off of these plus signs here. Now, if I click this one, which is 20, you actually get 30 added to the thing. You're going to be needing to add about 3 to 4 plus 20 fully maxed out artifacts, which again, first of all, is a big investment just for a stat. Now, obviously, after you do that, you get the sanctifying elixir, which, again, great. Then you go over to the artifact definition, say if you wanted to actually make one, and then we can go over to something like the sands here. We can choose a main stat, and then here we can actually select some minor stats. So again, we can do crit rate, crit damage. That's usually a stat that a lot of people want to use. You click confirm, and there we go. It costs 2. It costs 2 of these. So again, you have to be putting in 8 fully maxed out artifact sets, which is kind of insane. It's a very, very heavy investment into a lot of the artifacts, especially just for a couple of substats that you want perfect. And again, it doesn't even decide the other 2 substats that actually go into the piece. Obviously, they could be terrible. You could get like double defense, something like that, making the whole piece pretty much useless. So again, it doesn't make sense why it costs so much and you get so little out of it. But that isn't the only thing that's terrible about this update. Because you may have thought that, having a heavy investment wasn't that bad. Obviously, some people do have a lot of artifacts that they do just like level up a ton and, maybe have to spare to spend or something like this. But the other thing is that you're actually capped. It says remaining sanctifying elixir to be produced 1. Time remaining in the cycle 39 days and 13 hours. So every 40 days, this gets reset. You only get 1. And as I said, whenever I actually fill out all of this stuff as well, we put this in, it costs 2. So you're gonna have to wait over 80 days to actually get one of these pieces before you can even like think about getting it, 80 whole days. That is so many updates and such a large amount of time that it's almost like not worth doing any of this. And I don't see why anyone would do this if they even wanted to, because at that point you might as well just go to the domain and just farm it, because it's just easier and you're probably more likely to get the piece that you want rather than investing a ton of plus 20 artifacts into this and then pretty much getting nothing. I mean, you could get something, you could get a really good piece, and obviously it does really give you a step up to getting better pieces and getting better substats on your artifacts. But as I said, whenever I started this video, if you look at some of the pieces I saved, like the crit damage, crit rate one here, I could have selected both of these substats and still gotten defense and elemental mastery, which wouldn't have really helped me at all, especially if I was adding this onto a character that doesn't really take those. So again, there is still this massive chance of both of the other substats not even rolling your way, which again just sucks. And as I said, you can actually only do 2 minor affixes, all for that heavy investment and all for that waiting. So again, this is definitely an update that Genshin Impact really need to fix here, because it's terrible. Obviously, they've done it a lot better in Honkai Star Rail. You definitely get a lot more like self-modeling resin more often. They release it in events and stuff. Now, obviously, a lot of people were arguing in the comments, especially in Ryuuku's video, of like, oh, you could get it in the battle pass, or you could get it in events or in the Spiral Abyss or something like that. That still doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, this was supposed to be an easy thing to, you know, exchange your artifacts to get better artifacts whenever you can. And some people in the game are so free to play that they don't even buy the battle pass. So again, there's no point in saying that, oh, you can actually get it on the battle pass, because you still have to pay for it. Like, who wants to pay for such a terrible system that, again, probably won't even work in the first place, that again will have a high chance of failing? And overall, I just think this is a terrible system. Now, obviously, a lot of you may disagree with me in the comments saying that, oh, this is very balanced, but again, I think 80 days is way too long to be waiting for an artifact, especially if it's not even going to roll into the right thing. Obviously, I've been saying this again and again, saying that, you know, it's not going to roll into the right thing, because, again, I have very terrible luck on this game. I do not have faith at all that it's going to roll into a good substat, especially level up into a good substat in the first place. We're in a state in Genshin Impact at the moment where the game's been out for ages, and that everyone's gotten tons of artifacts, to the point where it doesn't really matter that you're giving out good pieces. Like, it doesn't matter at all. Like, I don't really get why Hoyoverse is actually holding back on this at all, because, yeah, it's not like this is some multiplayer game where it gives players, like, way more of an advantage over another if they can upgrade their substats so much easier. It just allows people to have more fun with the game, and it seems like they're taking away a lot of this fun by making you invest so heavily into this and making you wait so long for it. So again, it does feel like they've kind of scammed us here, because again, in the live stream and in a lot of the posts that they brought up, they made it out to be this like really, really great thing. You know, they're changing the game. Natlan's going to be a game changer for Genshin Impact, and the game's going to be so much different overall as to how it used to be, because again, a lot of people have been critical about this game. But again, I don't think that this update is, you know, reflective of that. And if anything, it's reflective of how lazy Hoyoverse are and how, you know, unwilling they are to give out free stuff, because this is another case of Hoyoverse not wanting to give out free stuff. Forget about Primogems, forget about Mora. Just in-game items, Hoyoverse are very reluctant to give it to you by making you wait possibly up to 80 days and maybe even more to actually get an artifact that could be semi-decent but might not even work in the first place. So again, this is absolutely insane. And there's also a lot of people online, now this may be a little bit over-dramatic from them, but saying that they're going to quit the game over this, because again, it's pretty ridiculous how they release these updates, and saying it's going to be a big update for the players and that the players are really going to enjoy this. For them to give us this absolute garbage, it's kind of insane to see. So yeah, another mess up from the Hoyoverse team over there. I really hope that they do fix it, because I have been enjoying the Natlan update. And hopefully, you know, if they just like reduce the cycle and maybe reduce the overall cost of making these, I definitely think that would be so much better, and maybe incorporate getting them into more events and stuff. Maybe they're already planning on doing that in the future, but again, this will definitely hurt the reputation of Genshin Impact, especially with the Natlan update. Obviously, because some people are coming back very critical of the game already, and if they see something like this, well, you know, it might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think that this is a good update, or do you think this is a bad one? I'm talking about the artifact system in particular, not the overall Natlan update, but the artifact system. Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? Because online I've seen a lot of varying kind of opinions on this, and yeah, I'm just really interested in what you guys think. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And as I said, go over to my anime channel. We got a ton of new stuff coming out on there. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.